So Nick, here we are again. We wrapped up our last episode down at the iconic Phillip Island, where we had the privilege of racing around in the new generation M3 and M4s, which literally just went on sale several days ago here in Australia as we launched this new podcast. At that particular podcast, we did hint at a special guest that we're going to have on. It was very suspenseful. You did not give away too much details. There is a reason why we have this particular car in the backdrop, because this individual does have a passion for not only our motorsport cars and our M cars, but also motorcycles, our Motorrad brand, and how that counteracts with the BMW M brand. Now, can you enlighten us, Nick, and actually let us know a little bit about who the special guest is?
Before we do that, let's have a look at this. Well, it's now our privilege to welcome Markus Flasch, the CEO of BMW M. Welcome, Markus. Thanks very much for joining us.
Hey, Nick. Hey, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Well, you join us at a very exciting time, Markus. We've just launched the 6th generation M3 and M4 in Australia. We've had a lot of people in the car at the track at Phillip Island. I know that's a track that you want to drive one day, and we're looking forward to having you there. One of the aspects that's come out of the drive is the versatility and the all-round ability of the M3 and M4, and how they're so great on the track, and yet they have this ability to also provide that refined road manner. How was that able to be achieved? Is that something that you focused on and was part of the development process?
Well, first of all, that's part of the development goals. Our cars have to work on public roads as well as racetracks. And the guys that develop the cars, and especially the ones that do the final tunings, are all enthusiasts. And our cars are not just developed on the Nordschleife, but also on the roads around it. And one interesting story is also that during Corona, especially in the last year, people even took the development cars back home in a time where we had to close our shops. They changed tires on their private shop.
Oh, wow.
They did development work from home.
Yeah.
And we didn't drop one single item in the whole time of Corona. We could go up through all of the testing through this fantastic teamwork that the guys here played. And this is probably why you feel on the cars the way they work, the enthusiasm that the people put in.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess there's a certain passion that follows not only the enthusiast that buys the M car, but also those people that are working on the M cars behind the scene. And you actually raise a very valid point. With Corona, we can't just stop developing because we can't go to and from the office or get access to a workshop. So it's a big compliment to all the people behind the scenes that don't ever really get, I guess, the accolades of all the hard work, the sweat and tears put into the vehicles and the development side of it. So, it's a big thank you to yourself and the team for bringing out such amazing vehicles. When we talk about the development and the testing, there was a lot of testing that was done both on-road and off-road, and you just briefly mentioned about that. How much involvement did you have specifically? Did you spend a certain amount of time behind the wheel? Was there sign-off before final production? Can you tell us a little bit about that, Markus?
Yeah, of course. I mean, first of all, I'm both an enthusiast, and there's a big level of trust between me and my engineering team, so we don't have sign-off procedures or me controlling certain development stages. It's more that my team is keen on my feedback as well. And from the first prototype phase, during all phases of development, they give me samples overnight or when I commute, like on weekends. I have quite a stretch that I do every weekend, and I do camouflage cars, non-camouflage cars, everything they want to feedback on, if it's a seat or a chassis setup or a steering wheel variant. So that's very often, probably weekly. People on the Austrian border know the camouflage cars by now. And I enjoy it a lot. This gives you connection to the team, and gives you also a good feeling as the head of the company to be really actually able to influence the development.
And that might be one of those little weekend passes you get. Sorry, family, I need to go test one of the M cars for about 3,000 kilometres.
Yeah. My son's pretty used to that. Other people are excited about the prototype cars. My son's pretty relaxed.
That's good. That's good.
So I guess that feeds into the next question, Markus, of how often you actually get out to drive. We know that you do. Do you ever get onto the Nordschleife to do some laps and really test the dynamics of either prototypes or production M cars?
Yes, I do. I get to Nordschleife probably twice a year. But testing M cars here around Munich on our test track or on public road is more weekly, if not daily item for me. Nordschleife is a bit of a travel for me, and so that's like twice a year.
Yeah. Now, as enthusiasts, we're thrilled that BMW M still offers manual transmission as an option on some of our cars. Is this something that we will continue on seeing more and more of in the future? And is that a direction that comes from like yourself, or is it the engineers?
Again, it's a team effort. I wouldn't say it's my push that enables us to do manual transmissions, but I'm a very big supporter.
Yeah.
Manuals don't make the car quicker, but it adds a lot of character. And the architecture that we use naturally suited to offer manual transmissions. And I will guarantee that we offer manual transmissions as long as our customers require it, and technologically we are able to do that. So there is, there is a very bright light at the end of the tunnel of the manual transmission.
We like to hear that, especially down in Australia.
We do, and I actually can back that up, Markus, because being at Phillip Island recently, a couple of people came in after driving the M2 CS, and they were asked about what they loved about the car, or they asked about the car, and most of them said the manual. So isn't it nice to see?
And actually I think it was something like 46%, was it, out of the M2 CSs that came down to Australia were manual transmission. So
yeah, that's right.
I just bought an M2 for my private collection and competition, and it's manual. I put it aside. Wow. And the car that I drive as a company car right now is an M4 manual.
Nice.
Okay, so that's a real enthusiast there.
Yeah, we understand why you like to spend time on the road now driving.
That's right, exactly.
When you're driving around those sort of cars, why wouldn't you?
Before we get on to other topics, Markus, we wanted to learn a bit more about you and where your life in cars began. So how did your story start?
That's quite straightforward. Actually, in school, I already knew that I wanted to do something with cars. I was fascinated by sports cars. My personal weekly highlight was the Porsche Turbo of the father of my best friend at school time, and he picked us up once in a while on Friday afternoon from school. The three of us in the Porsche Turbo. I was in the back. 4-speed manual. I still remember the car. But this was out of reach, of course. My grandfather drove in 525, straight 6 manual. And actually the father of my first long-time girlfriend, he used to drive the 750 12-cylinder.
Oh wow!
And then he was one of the first people in Austria who had the X5, the first ever X5 4.4. Wow. And this was aside of my girlfriend. This was my weekend highlight, you can imagine.
And that's why I was a long-time girlfriend. You just kept going back and back for the cars.
And a lot of my mates, they was thinking of becoming a football star or whatever, or skiing star, which is more common in the area where I come from.
Oh, wow.
I already knew that I wanted to do something with cars.
That's a good story. Now, for some people that know you quite well, would know that you're an enthusiast of not only 4 wheels, but obviously the 2-wheel variant that BMW produces as well through our sister company Motorrad. Do you get a chance to spend a lot of time on the 2-wheel sides of BMW, and have you ridden, I should say, the BMW M 1000 RR as yet?
Definitely. I'm in very close contact with the Motorrad guys. They're actually neighbors to the Motorsport division.
Yep.
And yes, I've driven the M1000W. It's a fantastic bike. Very supportive
Yeah.
I've driven other super bikes, but especially the M1000 RR is very supportive and still thrilling, which is important on bikes. You need the credibility, you need the confidence in to go to the limit, and this is what BMW motorcycles are very strong.
Yeah.
Personally, I own a R90 racer.
Oh.
Because I stopped going fast on public roads. I don't drive super bikes on public roads anymore. It's since I got kids.
Yeah.
You've
had your life a little bit more.
Super bike on the track is still a highlight, but not on public roads anymore.
Well, maybe one day, Markus, if you come down to Australia and you can make it down to Phillip Island, it will be our job to get you on the track in a 1000 RR, all to yourself, okay?
I will definitely follow up on this promise.
All right, done. Well, here it is. We got it on record, so it's going to happen.
At Phillip Island, I mean, I'm a big fan of MotoGP and the race in Phillip Island. The onboard videos, it's so spectacular.
Yeah, amazing.
I definitely want to drive there.
Good.
I think we could get Markus doing 300 plus on the bike down the main straight.
Yeah. We'll make it happen. We can make it happen. Don't worry. We'll be good.
So we know about your passion for speed and motorsport, Markus. So we can see in your background there's a pretty interesting artifact in your office. It looks like it's from the DTM. Is that right?
Well, that's an old DTM front cover, right? It's from Wittmann M4.
Yep. And so do you follow current motorsport? Is that still of interest to you? The different series around the world?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you might know, that I took over Motorsport in addition to BMW M in October. We're also working on the unification. The two parts of the company were founded together in 1972. BMW M and BMW Motorsport was one company. And of course, I'm involved in the current activities. Motorsport is part of our DNA. It's the credibility that our street cars have, the backbone, and a very important pillar for our business.
Now, and as we're talking about that, the racing scene, we got the M4 GT3, which will be available next year and will start being delivered to a lot of the customer teams. Did you have any involvement in the development side of the GT3?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, this is the focus of the entire motorsport team. This is the backbone. And if you follow the trends in motorsport right now, the GT racing is one of the, how should I say, strategies that every OEM follows because it makes a lot of sense. It's customer racing. It enables customers to win races. And the GT3 is the backbone. Of course, then we got the current GT4, which is very successful, the M2 CS Racing as well, which we will see in various cups starting from this year in Europe. And then we're working on the next generations of those two cars, the GT4 and the M2 CS Racing as well. So yeah, motorsport is our cars, our brand, our heritage. It lives for motorsport.
Yeah. Now, do you get to spend much time at the tracks at all, Markus? I mean, I know your schedule must be extremely busy. Do you get to travel around much and spend time at the tracks during the seasons?
Sure.
Yeah.
I use every opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to be at many of those races, the long distance classic races.
Yeah.
In the past, also at the TM, and every chance I get to hop into a actual or classic race car, I take.
bit of free race time. Get those extra hours up your sleeve. Why not? Yeah.
Now, Markus, a little change of pace and direction here, just getting into the much discussed topic of electrification. Can you tell us how that will shape the BMW M brand in the future?
Electrification, if you think it through and if you use all the potential that the technology offers, you can probably achieve ultimate driving dynamics. And this is the chance that we want to take and that we're working on. Longitudinal performance is something that has never been the single focus of M, and even less so with electrified cars. With battery electric vehicles, initial acceleration and longitudinal performance is something that pretty much everyone can do. And this is not what we're working on. We're working on ultimate driving dynamics. And the M cars that we will put on the road, electrified M cars, will show that this is the future.
Yeah.
And that must require a lot of work to get that, as you say, transferring longitudinal performance to lateral performance, so really strong dynamics on a twisty road. That must be a long development process and quite involved to achieve that and move it to the next phase.
Sure, it's a total different approach. Today you have a combustion engine, a lot of torque and horsepower, and then you have friction systems that destroy energy into dissipating into atmosphere. If you think the whole potential of electric engines, there is a lot of efficiency, a lot of dynamical benefit in it, and the key will be how to control multiple electric engines and the software around it. This is where we will be, again, differentiated to the competition as we are today with traditional systems.
From an engineering perspective, Markus, is it a very different concept when you look at that strategy for, let's say, a sports coupe or a sedan or an SUV? Is it a different dynamic that you need to go in and hone in on where you're sort of developing that electrification side for various shapes and sizes across our portfolio?
The answer is, as in the past, we offer for the best propulsion technology for the use case.
Yep.
We don't have all-wheel drive in all of our cars. We don't have V8s in all of the cars. We have diesel-powered M performance cars as well. So there is the whole variety today, and we will see that also in the future. There is not the one system that fits all. I can see high-performance hybrids for quite some time in our long-distance bombers, if you want to call it, like an M5 or larger X. BEV works in all different segments, and there will be room for combustion engine only in the most core models. So there will be an answer for every use case, and there will be a reason to own more than one M car.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, yeah, that's really interesting because it's on topic, I guess, when we talk about the power of choice and the breadth of our portfolio and having, yes, is electrified, but electrified does mean fully electric, but it also means PHEV.
Yep.
And there, as you said, there does exist that opportunity with all those powertrains to really bring that BMW M element, doesn't it? I can imagine that's what you're working on now and what we'll see in the future with all these exciting BMW M cars in the portfolio.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is it how long, and this is just a side question, Markus, how long in advance are we looking when we're working on this technology? I mean, you always hear working in the automotive industry, it's typically 6-7 years in advance. We're looking at the next model, et cetera, et cetera. But being that the electrification strategy has played a major part in where automotive manufacturing is going over the next decade or so, how far in advance are we starting to look, or do we need to look when we're developing these cars?
Well, we will see the first battery electric M cars performance model already later this year.
Yeah.
We will see high performance hybrid variants pretty soon.
Yeah.
And we will see high performance battery electric vehicles in a couple of years.
And so aside from that move to electrified, do you still see a strong future for the more traditional BMW M powertrain, so straight 6 and V8 twin turbo? Do they still have a strong future in the lineup? Definitely.
With the large engines and their hybridization makes most sense, and also for the cars that they are used in, like an M5 or larger X models. And then the straight 6 is the icon. This is the backbone. This is it's probably the last combustion engine that will be offered in a BMW M car.
Now we're going to go on a slightly different route, Markus, and we're going to delve a little bit deeper into you personally now. If we gave you the option where you could drive any BMW M car from today or the past, and you could go on any road around the world, what would it be and where would you go?
the default answer would be Nordschleife, but to be very honest, I'd probably take the road between the village where I grew up and the town where I went to school.
Yeah.
Because it's a twisty mountain road, and I know every piece of gravel. I could drive it blind, and if I could pick a car, it would probably be a M1 Pro car.
Oh yeah.
Flames from the exhaust. And this is an experience that I would love to take.
Wow.
And just on that, and we've talked about you coming to Australia, hopefully in the future. Yeah. Markus, are there any circuits, I mean, aside from Phillip Island, which you're really interested in, are there any other circuits or roads in Australia that you've got your eye on that you'd like to drive?
To be very honest with you, I mean, probably Phillip Island is the one to start with.
Yeah.
And then we'll take it from there.
And maybe Bathurst, when it's a permanent facility.
Maybe Bathurst.
Yes, that's right. Now, Markus, we don't want to put you on the spot here, but we will, because we're going to take this as an exclusive interview, and there might be something that we can delve into, and it might not be. And this is the power of editing the movie as well, or the video cast, I should say. Can you reveal anything to our listeners that we might be able to look out for in the near future, as far as maybe some special editions or something cool and iconic that might be revived that's going to enter the BMW M family again?
Yes and no, and I'm of course prepared for that type of question.
You still value your job, so
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah, we want you to stay there.
You know the abbreviations, right? You know the CS and the CSL abbreviation, and you see what we're doing with CS, even on an M5 currently, which is the launch is fantastic.
Which is amazing.
Out on the car.
Yeah.
Yes, there will be special models, and the abbreviations are common known.
Yeah.
I wouldn't limit it only to M3 and M4. As you know, we have the successor of the M2 already in the starting grid. I can think of quite some special models of this version.
Yeah.
And this is as far as I can go.
That's okay. That's still great
info.
No,
that's fine. That's plenty. We're going to spread this out as an exclusive from the CEO of M. Now, we're going to get a little bit cheeky here. We want to have a bit of fun, so we're going to lighten it up a bit. We're going to actually ask you 10 questions. The guys are going to put a timer up on the screen. We've got about 60 seconds. And you sort of need to say the first word that comes into your mind, if possible, okay? So, bear with us.
Okay.
If you could pick one, what would it be? Bikes or cars?
Probably the car.
Okay.
Favourite sport outside motorsport?
Cycling. Road and mountain bike.
Wow, okay. Wasn't expecting that.
That's good.
Favourite car of all time? Any make, any model?
Definitely BMW M1 Pro car.
Yep.
And favourite bike of any make or model?
To be very honest, my Ducati Panigale.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, nice.
Favourite place to holiday?
Actually home, because I'm very very seldom at home.
Oh, that's good. Nothing wrong with that.
Favourite movie?
Any Bud Spencer movie.
Which living person do you most admire and why?
Well, I'm not the admire type of person, but I'm really impressed with what Elon Musk is doing.
Okay. Yep.
And if you had one last meal on Earth, Markus, what would it be?
That's easy. That's a steak.
Oh, probably same as us.
Can I say? We're going to add this question. Stop the time. Medium rare. Which way? How do you like it?
Always rare and a little bit charred on the outside.
Oh, that's
okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I reckon that's a good answer.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
It's dinner time here in Australia.
Yeah, we're just thinking about steak now.
We're getting hungry because it's dinner time here. So thanks for that thought.
Yeah.
If money was no object and you could buy only one thing, what would it be?
That's interesting. Probably economic independence.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's a different one. I was thinking maybe a watch.
I don't want to get
something.
rich, but I want to be independent.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah, I'd arguably choose that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably
There you
wouldn't
go.
put it that way.
Okay.
Which is good. Now, who's been a major influence on your life professionally and personally? Any big figures that have shaped you in your life?
Yeah, that's an easy answer. That's Karl-Heinz Kalpel,
Yeah.
former head of BMW Motorsport, and he was like a father to me. Passed away a couple of years in a motorcycle accident, but I still carry him with me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, his memory will live on, and you know, we'll continue respecting that memory as well. So, big influence on the brand. Markus, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
As far as all our questions, I mean, we can talk to you for hours and hours and hours. You're a very insightful individual, and we'd love to pick your brain again one day. But we know that being the head of M, there's probably not a lot of free time that you have in your schedule.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate the time that you have given us. It's an honour and a privilege to be able to talk to you one-on-one like this as well. And we're hoping that we are now one of your favourite interviewers. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So thank you very much for that.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
You absolutely made my day, Nick. And I'm so much looking forward to the next discussion in person.
Cannot wait. And hopefully it's around Phillip Island.
Race in Phillip Island.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll see you there, Markus.
We can't wait.
On the bike.
We've got about 8 months to work on you getting access to the track all to yourself.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Markus.
Thanks a lot, Markus.
Have a lovely day, man.